Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel where I just checked the audio is working today. Hopefully we're off to a slightly smoother start to the stream. How is everyone doing? Today is match day. Manchester United up against Copenhagen. So we're going to talk about basically our starting 11, certain things that we learned from the game against Copenhagen a couple of weeks ago, and things we can, move into this game. The knowledge, basically, we got from the last game to bring into this game. That's what I'm trying to say. But first of all, how is everybody doing in chat? Let's have a look. Yeah, how's everyone feeling about today's game? Are we feeling confident going into this, or a little bit unsure? How do we think it's going to go? I think that first game was obviously the winner scored by Harry Maguire. We had Ronaldo with the last-minute penalty save. Hopefully, it's not quite as tense as that, and it's not quite as much drama. But obviously, we're going into this game away from home. The Copenhagen atmosphere will be intimidating, to say the least. It's not going to be an easy game. So, how are we feeling about it, basically? Who are you definitely wanting to see in your starting 11? This isn't my 11, by the way. This is the 11 we saw the other day. We're definitely going to make changes to it because I don't like this team at all. But how are we feeling about it? Which players do you think are key? Who really needs to start in this game? Perhaps who needs to be dropped? Let me know what you think. Let me just move this to change the echo 1 second. Chris, are you in the Discord server? Thank you to everyone who has joined so far, by the way. For those of you that haven't seen it, we do now have a Discord server, which you can find on the community page to celebrate hitting 20,000 subscribers. So thank you very much to everyone for that. Venkata saying, congratulations on 20k subscribers, buddy. 200k, 2 million next. We will be there. Hopefully. Hopefully sooner rather than later as well. Good here, going to bed after this one. Need to get up at 3:40 a.m. for the game. Whereabouts in the world are you then, Chris? Sorry? 3:40 start is an early one. Hopefully, though, if you're dedicated to wake up at that time to watch this team, hopefully they can produce something for you. Højlund deserves the opportunity to really shine tonight. Want to see us giving him plenty of chances. That's definitely going to be an important thing. United are lacking goals up front at the moment, but it's not because of Rasmus Højlund. We need to create for him. We need to help him. Hey AJ, sorry for not being in the stream yesterday. Exams is a pain in the butt. No worries, my friend. I hope the exams are going well. What sort of exams you got? But yeah, best of luck with them. I hope they're going well. Hope you've done the preparation, the revision beforehand. I was never great at doing that. But yeah, I hope it's going well. What are we thinking then, early on, in terms of starting 11? Good to see your code name, by the way, mate. Hope you are. I don't know if I said hi yet. Good to see you. Hope you're good. Hopefully another 1-0 Maguire goal again. I would like it to be more comfortable, but unfortunately, I don't think it will be. Codename saying, just join the Discord and like the bloody stream. Quite simple. I live in Bali and wake up for the game every time. Hopefully, soon, this club starts rewarding you with points then. That's very, very early to wake up to be watching pretty horrendous football at times. Hello, AJ. What do you think of a collab with the United stand? If they're interested, I'm interested. May have different opinions, but it's part of football, right? Make sure to like the stream, guys, while you're here. Has anyone got any players then that they want to say which need to be dropped from this starting 11 at the weekend? We'll wait for a few more people to join the stream before we properly warm up into things. But is there anyone in this 11 which you're definitely like, get them out? Or is there anyone which you're definitely like, get them in? Or anyone where you need to boot them into a different position? Let me know what you think. I think they all have knowledge about the importance of this match. I hope so. The players need to be aware of what they're going into here. Basically, United have to win. That's how I see it, in my opinion. I think it's a must-win game for United. I think it's going to be an incredibly difficult atmosphere to play in. Can I give you guys a slight concern of mine here? Because I'm seeing people say drop McTominay, drop McSauce, drop Eriksen, drop Evans. I'm a little bit worried that the press conference yesterday was done with Christian Eriksen, and a lot of the time, people that do press conferences tend to start, which is worrying for me. He played, 80 minutes the other day and looked shattered by the end of it. He looked shattered about 5 minutes in, to be fair. And we know that physically he can't cope with ball carriers. I'm worried about that. And also McTominay on the Twitter post this morning, United's kind of Twitter post advertising the game, has McTominay on the front. I cannot watch another game of Eriksen and McTominay from the start as the double pivot. I just can't watch it. I can't bring myself to watch that. Chris in particular does not deserve to wake up at that time in the morning to see a McTominay Eriksen double pivot. I'm loving Maguire's form. Actually starting to think we have been too hard on him when we actually needed to back him, in my opinion. And you're one of his biggest critics. So yeah, I think Maguire's been absolutely brilliant recently. I think he's been one of United's best players. One of the actual positive points of recent weeks when we've had a lot of players out through injury, a lot of players in poor form. Maguire's really stepped up. Could simply be that they chose a Dane to represent in a press conference. Yeah, it's very possible as well. It just has me a little bit worried because a lot of the time you do then see those players start. Amrabat and McTominay double pivot, says Edwick, sorry. We had 3 wins away. We had 3 wins last away games and same points, same game week as last year. Very true. Eriksen most likely a Ten Hag player, fundamental playmaker, know his role well, but his leg was out like a super old veteran. I feel like with Eriksen, all his best performances so far this season, in my opinion, and let me know if you agree, I think all his best performances have come from the bench, where, you know, he's not asked to start the game and set an intensity in the game, but where he's coming on and making an impact when the opposition are a bit more tired and there's a bit more space, the opposition aren't as intense in duels. That seems to be, for me, where Eriksen is thriving this season. But then, every time he plays well from the bench, he gets started in the next game. Let me know what you think. I personally prefer him from the bench to come on and control games, particularly when he's just played a few days ago. I like Goldbridge, but I would like you to teach him more about the analytical parts, systems, etc. Some people you can't teach because some people like to say controversial things for views, but I respect it. The grind's the grind. But yeah, I'd definitely be down for a collab with any sort of channel. Amrabat and McSauce double pivot would be a disaster, no box-to-box midfielder. It's much better when he watches the game and can make an impact later. Starting just makes him a guaranteed 60th minute sub. That's how I feel, or it's how I felt, and then the other day he played like 80 minutes and Mason Mount got about 10, which really confused me. Eriksen is good for 45 minutes. Yeah, I think bring him on at half-time if you need a change, or 60th minute if you need an impact, or change the tempo of the game. Get Eriksen on, that's how I see it. Mount should start, I agree. Do you think Antony will play this game from the start, or will he be dropped because he was subbed off last game? If it was up to me, I would probably drop/rotate him. Kind of take him out of the limelight a little bit as well. But I think Erik Ten Hag will stick with him. I think we know that Ten Hag really values Antony. I think we know that he likes him a lot. And this is a must-win game. So if it's a player which Ten Hag trusts, I would expect him to start this game, and I think he does with Antony. Good to see you, Thomas, mate. Hope you're well. What about a Mount McTominay midfield then? Personally, I just don't like McTominay in a double pivot if we're trying to control possession. In a more transitional game, it's okay, it can work. Or a more defensive setup game, it's okay, it can work. But I think if you're trying to be kind of the dominant team and take charge of a game, I don't think McTominay in a double pivot works. But I might be wrong. Mount has energy and covers a lot of ground, but kind of unwilling to defend. I don't think he's unwilling to defend. I think he covers a lot of ground going backwards. He's just not physically the strongest player in a tackle. I think if you see us defending transition, Mount's actually one of the better players at getting back towards his own goal. But yeah, it's then about actually ability. Is he a great tackler? No, he's decent, but he's not a top-level tackler. Varane, Maguire, Dalot and Wan-Bissaka backline, I'm inclined to agree. I think that's probably what I would go for as well. What we're going to do, before we continue with making our starting 11, also, like the stream. We're going to look at what we learned from Copenhagen in the last game. Honestly, I think you are the best United channel. No D-riding, but I really love rationality, which a lot of channels lack. Thank you very much for the kind words. I like to try and bring as kind of a much of a balanced point of view as possible, rather than shout and scream and going over the top and things like that. Look at the positives, negatives of everything. Yeah, I like to talk about it. What I like about Mount is his willingness to overlap, even on his left foot. I think we need to see even more of that. I think you're spot on that he can do it quite well. I want to see it more, because he's good at it. I would genuinely start Forson over Antony. I believe Forson's in the squad, I believe. I hope Pellistri gets a chance, though, but I also want to see Forson given a chance since Antony is playing poorly. AJ, who would you choose? Rashford in form or Rafa Leao in form? I think Rafa Leao is up there with the top 3 most dangerous dribblers on the planet, truthfully. That's a really difficult question. I would still just about go towards Marcus Rashford, because a lot of people don't like Rashford because he's poor out of possession. Wait until you watch Leao. That he takes it to another level. So I think I would just about go for Rashford, but it's definitely a close one if they're both in form. Depends on the system as well, absolutely. I really don't think Ten Hag likes Maguire on the left. Yeah, that's a problem. That is a problem. I think he will try and keep Evans Maguire rather than Varane Maguire. The only thing I would say to counter that is that what he's often said about starting Maguire on the left-hand side is it doesn't work when he plays against a team which presses super high. Not convinced Copenhagen will do that, although maybe they will to get the crowd behind them. Do you guys think Copenhagen will be on a high press in this game, or do you think they'll be a bit more mid-block, low-block, aggressive mid-block? What do you think? What about Garnacho, Rashford and Højlund? Definitely potential there. Which of those 3 would you play on the right-hand side? Would it be Rashford or Garnacho? Let me know what you think. Rafa Leao is really poor with his pressing, just like Rashford. Completely agree. So in terms of what I felt we learned about Copenhagen, first of all, defensively, is that in the first leg they didn't press that high. It might change, or not in the first leg, sorry, the first game. They didn't press that high. Now, it might change in this game because they got a crowd behind them. And again, by the way, I don't know if you guys seen the videos going around this morning. The atmosphere is going to be intense. These players are going to be put under some pressure here. But in the first leg, they didn't press incredibly aggressively from what I can recall. So United might be okay, but we'll see. But what was really a theme of that game was that once it was set into more of a mid-block situation and United did have the ball, we often saw more of a diamond, with Klaassen, the striker, kind of playing as more of a false nine, dropping deeper between these two wingers who would then come inside a little bit. And it made it almost like a diamond structure through the middle. And then if I get the ball, here it is. As it went one way, they would then all kind of shuffle over. Pardon me. So I do think that's something we could definitely see again in this game. I think it's definitely a distinct possibility. They're also happy to drop into more of a 4-5-1 as they kind of get deeper and forced backwards towards their own goal. So that's something else to watch out for. In terms of in possession, I'm not sure how you say this guy's name. Is it Achari, however you say his name? He was really threatening in the first game. I thought his ball carrying was excellent. His dribbling looked really good. He was a pain in the backside for United all day long, basically. And Dalot did struggle to deal with him. Now, we might have Wan-Bissaka for this game, which, we'll come on to shortly. We'll come on to that shortly, addressing what we would go for our starting 11, but that's something to watch out for. And also, one of the midfielders is nearly always going to push further forward. So they'll often start with a sort of a 2-3 shape, or a 2-4 shape at the back. And then as they kind of progress the ball up the pitch and are able to move a bit further forward, we then see it becomes a bit more of a 2-3 with the other midfielder pushing like this. The left back seemed to be the deeper of the two in the first game, with the right back pushing a little bit further forward. El Yunusi was a threat. Klaassen's going to drop deeper. Achuri, again, I'm not sure how to say his name, but he's going to be a threat with his dribbling. I think those are some of the key things that United need to watch out for. I think the other thing United need to watch out for is that when United do have the ball, and have got Copenhagen pinned back, what we saw a lot in the first game was, United always have this rotating deep shape. We always expect that. But what we saw a lot of was just two centre-backs with one player in front of them protecting them. And of course, on the counter-attack, when you've got Klaassen's going to drop into this position and tie up your holding midfielder, and then two wingers are going to run from out to in, on the counter-attack in transition, that's definitely a problem that United are going to have to keep an eye on. So I think those are some of the things which we need to consider in this game. How do we go about combating that? Let me know what you think in chat. Copenhagen will 100% press. I think they will certainly early on to get the crowd behind them. We'll obviously see as the game goes on, but I think they'll come out fast. Ten Hag all the way, but I'm starting to get upset about Ten Hag not trying an Amrabat, Mason Mount, Bruno midfield. I agree. We can't keep playing the same thing and expect different results, particularly when he's often talking about currently the midfield lacking balance. I feel like he has some solutions on the bench. I'd love to see us try Garnacho from the right. Yeah, I'd like to see it tried for sure. If we lose tonight, is this the point you turn on Ten Hag? It would really depend on the nature of the loss. I think if you play a good game and concede a stupid penalty, lose 1-0, something like that, it's harsh to say Ten Hag should go. I think if United get completely outplayed, completely battered, it's a different story. So we'll see. Front three, Rashford, Højlund, Facundo Pellistri, tempted by that. AJ, is it just me or kind of felt weird seeing a number 9 shirt? Yeah, it was. I don't like their numbers. I don't like to see a number 9 in midfield and a number 7 up front. Who will be our key man for United? We'll come on to that in a second. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on that as well. Any plans on doing an FM24 stream, United rebuild? I definitely want to do it at some point. I don't know if it would be a stream or whether I would do it in video form on a second channel, but I don't actually have FM24 at the moment. I'm trying to decide if enough people are interested for it to be worth buying it, because it's about £45. Evans or Varane? Personally, I would go for Rafael Varane. I think he's just a superior footballer in most ways. AJ, if Ten Hag has got 100% control, who do you think he would sell? Maybe sell Bruno and buy a more possession-based 10? I don't think Bruno would be top of his list to sell because I think he likes him as a game breaker. I think it would be players like Maguire, Scott McTominay would be up there with the first ones which went. It's hard to tell much further than that though, because we've had so many injuries this season. We haven't actually really seen what Ten Hag thinks is our best 11, if you know what I mean. So we don't really know which players he's valuing as such at the moment. So what would you guys go for then? Would you go Maguire and Evans, or would you go for Varane? We'll go back to the possession structure quickly, actually. Because one thing that the other problem United had, was that when United are on the ball, we often had two centre-backs. Occasionally a third, but not always. But we often had two centre-backs. And again, because the two wingers are able to, as the ball gets set backwards, because these two are then able to come in like this, what we often saw was that it was Amrabat in that game. And he often found himself in his position. And he was unable to free himself up. If he moved, there was almost nearly always either a shadow press or a man-to-man press on him. I felt that Amrabat in that first half really struggled to get on the ball. And there's obviously that picture we've looked at a few times already on the channel now, where the gaps in the United team were horrendous, where we saw basically a front seven and then just a three at the back. So I think what United really need to do in this game is make sure they've got better connection points in the team. To do that, what structure do you use? Personally, I would go to more of a 3-2 or a 2-3 shape. Get an extra player or two in deeper areas. Because if you play the right shape, you almost force these players to drop deeper. Again, what we've seen a lot of the time is players pushing really high up the pitch far too early. And it leaves these deeper players just incredibly isolated. And I think it's a problem that United just have to address at some point. I suspect the reason Varane is not starting is because as a duo, him and Maguire don't work. But individually, he's better than both. I think he can work with Maguire, though, is the thing. I think he can work. I do wonder, though, if we're going to see... what was I going to say? I think we might see... What was I going to say here? We might see Varane play, because I've got a feeling that the fact that he didn't play at the weekend, perhaps he was being kind of protected and rested for this game, perhaps. Not sure. Would you start Dalot or Reguilon at left back? I'll come on to that in a second. Dalot inverting to help Amrabat is a sort of answer I'm going to head towards. Thomas saying he'd go for a 2-3-5 in build-up. Frank saying I think he is managing Varane minutes because now he can't play twice a week. He didn't play him against Fulham because he saved him for this important game. He is a calming influence to the defence. That's how I'm looking at it. I think he will play this match. I think we've seen him protected. So what I would do is I would take Johnny Evans out. I'd put Maguire to left centre-back. I'd bring Varane into the side. I'm going to keep Wan-Bissaka and Dalot at full-back. And basically, I think what I'll go for in possession is more of a back three shape, with Maguire kind of down this side, stepping forward, which we know he's really good at. Rafael Varane playing as the middle defender. Wan-Bissaka to the right, who, is good at covering a lot of ground, good in defensive transition, physically quite good. And move Dalot inside alongside Amrabat. Now, he doesn't have to come, truly inverted like we see as Zinchenko for Arsenal, for example. He doesn't have to come all the way. It can be a slightly off-balance shape. But I just think having Dalot in this role inside with whoever it is in midfield, preferably Amrabat, I think it forces United to connect the play. Again, with this 3-1 shape recently, or the 2-1 shape, it's too many players pushing forward too early. I think by using this system, you're almost forcing players to come a little bit deeper. And then you can connect the team. Madhu saying, geez, I'm late once again. It's only about 19 minutes. You're all good, my man. Hope you're well. Good to see you. 4-4-2 out of possession for easy pressing. Yeah, we'll come on to that a little bit later on. The defensive approach out of possession, how United can approach the game. We saw a slight change to the structure against Fulham, so perhaps we'll see it in this game as well. What do you guys make of this kind of base structure, though, in deeper areas to approach this game? What do you think of it? Hey, AJ, I think Mount should start on the right, because if he does, Wan-Bissaka can focus more on defence, and Mount provides a better crossing option. Do you mean Mount as like a right central midfielder, or Mount as a right winger? Let me know what one you mean. There's another comment I want to read somewhere as well. Apologies if I'm... Oh, it was that comment. I do apologise. AJ might sound funny. Sandro Martinez, Varane, De Gea and Casemiro worked because they all spoke Spanish. Yeah, and I think as the season went on, they all got used to each other's game as well, but it's definitely a good point. Communication is key. Mount as a right winger. We'll come on to this like attack and structure in a second. I just want to get your thoughts on this deeper structure. Hey Chris, is that you in a Discord? Good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining. Do you think Elanga is better than Anthony? I for real think it's up there for debate. There's a lot of revisionism on Elanga because he's doing quite well for Forest. I think Elanga's a good player. I think physically he's got a lot of good attributes. We'll have to wait and see, really, I guess. The fact that it's a discussion, though, is concerning when Anthony costs close to 100 million and Elanga we let go for as cheap as chips. So it is concerning. Frank's saying I think Rashford will start. Let's focus on this deep five here. Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Amrabat, Dalot. Do you agree with this structure? Or do you think it should be a little bit different? Edwick likes the look of it. Obviously, there's different things we could do. We could bring someone like Reguilon into the side. If I put him in real quick. We could bring Reguilon into the side instead of Dalot. Give Dalot a bit of a break. And go to more of a 2-3. That's an option as well. Again, let me know what you're thinking. You like the look of it? If Elanga had stayed, we might have a front three of Antony's. Madu saying I think Eriksen will start. Yeah, so what we're probably going to go through today, right, is how we would do it initially. And then maybe a bit later on, we'll go back to what we think Ten Hag will do. So, do you think Eriksen will start or do you want him to start? For now, we'll start with what we want and then we'll come on to it. This midfield will be overwhelmed in this 2-3 shape or in the 3-2. I think it's fine, but I would go for Reguilon and 2-3 in a build-up, so more of this shape. My thinking is this, though, right? I think what we saw in the first game was, again, Klassen was tying up Amrabat, and Amrabat couldn't really get free and was really ineffective in the first half. It's why he came off at half-time. I feel like if you build with more of a back three and do this, what it allows you to do is outnumber this front three still, but importantly, we're getting 2 around Klassen. So even if the Copenhagen forwards want to press from wider like this, we've got this 2 versus 1 here, and it now becomes much more difficult for Klassen to pick up both of them. That's my thought process here. Elanga is not good enough for a top team. Anthony can do way better, just his head is elsewhere with all his personnel problems. Yeah, I think Anthony suits a possession system much more than what Elanga does as well. Elanga's great for transitional football, and that's what he gets at Forest. It suits him. Thoughts on Palacios at Bayer Leverkusen? Good player. I think Eriksen will start because Ten Hag doesn't want to rotate the team to get the routine in reasonable. I do fear for Eriksen though if he's starting 2 or 3 games in a week. So based on what I've just said there, would you go for a 2-3 or a 3-2? Because, like I said, I like the idea of the 3-2 out, or the 2 in particular, a double pivot here, outnumbering the Copenhagen players. Now, Copenhagen could go aggressive and maybe connect an extra man like this and go more man for man, but we still are 5 versus 4 in this deeper area. So I think there's potential that if you say Rafael Varane's on, or Wan-Bissaka's got the ball, drags the man in, Copenhagen go like this, there's potential if you're willing to use Onana as well, that you can outnumber them. So personally, I think I would go for a 3-2, but let me know if you disagree. Shannon saying you think the 2-3 will give more control. What's your reason? I'm not saying you're wrong. Let me know what you think. Give me the reason behind that. I think if we were to go to more of a 2-3 shape like this, just trying to think how it would work, it does potentially create room for the fullbacks. Again, if Copenhagen are initially in this shape, and then Klassen's going to drop deep on Amrabat, I just feel, right, if you've got something else like to counter this, let me know, because I love the debate. I just feel that if United play with this shape, what we'll see is Copenhagen putting the wingers on the fullbacks like this. And I fear that we would just see United getting stuck with the centre-backs, with no one really to pass to. Again, I can see a world where, like, everywhere Amrabat goes, Klassen just follows him. Let me know what you think. It depends how patient United are on the ball and how much Copenhagen want to come and take it off them as well. Joined late. Why is Dalot a holding midfielder? That was an inverted fullback role. But welcome to the stream, mate. Hope you're good. what app? This is tacticalboard.com if you want to check it out. Onana can also step up, splitting the centre-backs, pushing Wan-Bissaka high and wide. There's definitely potential. I don't think you can do that all the time. I think you have to do it when the possession is quite settled, because if you lose the ball, you're in a bit of trouble. But yeah, there is definitely potential in certain spells to see that. AJ, how about a 2-3-4-1? We can outnumber them in midfield, though. Not sure. It's difficult to say because we don't know how aggressive Copenhagen are going to be in the middle third. I think they'll press quite high, but then once it's set into more of a mid-block, are they going to be aggressive in these areas and go and win the ball? Or are they going to cut past the lanes? It's quite difficult to tell. Maybe a double pivot with Bruno. Perhaps what we could see, actually, is take McTominay out, put Mason Mount in, or even Christian Eriksen, if that's what we think Ten Hag will do. We could see this. This shape could ask some different questions, perhaps. You want to see Mount instead of McTominay? There you go. Right on cue. Hey, AJ, do you think we can defend in a 4-4-2 with Rashford in the team instead of Garnacho? Yeah, I think so. I think we can. I think Rashford's work rate defensively has improved recently. I think we've all seen that. Wan-Bissaka should play in the wing-back position when we are in control, and Anthony should come inside. So a rotation which looks more like this. That would definitely be suited to this shape. If United were built to build possession in a 2-4, it does make it quite difficult for Copenhagen to apply too much pressure to the ball, because Klaassen can't pick up the two players here. So one of the other midfielders has to join, but suddenly that means they're leaving themselves almost 3 versus 2 in these positions. If we take Garnacho out, put a Rashford in here, suddenly you've got room now for maybe Region instead of Dalot. As the ball goes into this sort of area, we were speaking about this last week, can Region now go round? And this player is going to struggle to track him because, as we spoke the other week, he will be facing the wrong way to turn and accelerate. So could we then see Region going down this side, Wan-Bissaka coming down this side, Amrabat and Eriksen playing deeper and giving us this 2-2 shape, which, again, at times could convert to more of a 3-1 if Ten Hag wanted it to do so. Rashford needs game time. He needs a confidence goal. I would expect Rashford to start. Ten Hag has said he's 100% ready. But yeah, I think you're spot on. Hopefully he can get a goal. Mount is a good guy, but I don't think he fits well as a United player. He looks so lost. I think it's difficult for any player right now to look like they particularly own the situation just because it's such a mess in general. I think give him a bit of time and then we'll see. I hope Bayern don't get silly and let Galatasaray draw or win. Yeah, I mean, I'll check the group standings shortly if you want. But yeah, United need results their way in this group. Make sure to like the stream while you're here, by the way, guys, if you are enjoying things. And if you hate the stream, leave a like as well, just because it's a nice thing to do. Like the 3-2 in possession, just worried with McTominay not helping out enough coming deeper to receive. That's why I'd prefer Mount or Hannibal over McTominay. What your Mount or Eriksen then? What are your thoughts there? McTominay will start as the 10, Bruno on the wing and Eriksen in a double pivot. It's possible. I really hope it's not the case, but it's definitely possible. I don't want it to be the case, but it could be. Mount should be played in the wing position. That will boost his confidence and he will create also. I mean, if we want to talk about Mount on the wing, right, let's figure that out real quick. So let's put United in this shape. Hang on. We'll take Anthony out. We'll put Mount on the right wing. And we're going to go for a 4-2-3-1. Definitely Mount because he covers more ground. Let's see if we can get both of them in. So we've got the passing of Eriksen, but also the energy of Mount. So let's go 4-2-3-1. Region, Maguire, Varane, Wan-Bissaka, Eriksen, Amrabat, double pivot. Rashford, Fernandes, Mount, Rasmus, Højlund. Could this team work? I think in sustained possession it could. Now, the question is, can the team get that far? Can they play through the press? We're not too sure. We don't know what Copenhagen will do. But let's say Copenhagen set up in a 4-3-3, which I'd expect is what they normally do, which becomes more of a diamond eventually. But let's say United set up in a 2-4. Again, like we've already spoken, I think it's quite difficult for this front three for Copenhagen to really go and apply pressure to the ball because there's only 3 of them against 6 for United, so it's quite dangerous. Now, Again, I think the counter from Copenhagen, therefore, would be to move the striker onto one of the double pivot and a midfielder onto the other. And defend in almost a aggressive mid-block 4-2-4 shape. Letting Maguire and Varane having the ball will basically go and there's no one here you can pass to. I could see Copenhagen going for that sort of approach. But this is where United can have some success. Because if United are good with manipulating the opposition, there is potential to get Rashford inside and Mason Mount, playing on the right wing, this would suit him, into these little pockets and these little channels either side of the Copenhagen midfield. Can you now find him in there? Because it is technically 3 versus 2. Now, you might think it's not 3 versus 2, because you might say that the fullback can just come charging in. But this leaves way too much space for someone like Wan-Bissaka or Reguilon to push forward. And again, to cover it, if I'm Wan-Bissaka here, and I'm facing this way, and the ball goes like this, it's much easier for me facing forward to get there than it is for this dude to turn round and then run back. You know, it's much quicker for Wan-Bissaka because he's already facing that way. So perhaps we could see some sort of 2-4 shape with, let's cancel that. With the wide players coming inside, the fullbacks pushing around. That could be a ploy which United use, because if this fullback isn't going to go tight, or sorry, if the fullback does go tight, you give this room to someone like Reguilon to push forward. But if he backs off because he's scared of Reguilon, now can you find Marcus Rashford in these kind of inside pockets? Potentially, and the same for Mason Mount on the other side as well. And perhaps if we play down this side, the other fullback just plays a little bit deeper to provide security. This is something that United could do in this game. I think what would be important here, though, is it's more about players arriving into space rather than standing in it. If United were set up like this initially and just stood in these spaces, it's quite difficult to, or it's quite easy, for Copenhagen to kind of see where they are and mark them. Whereas if Reguilon starts in this position, I feel like you ask the question a bit more of the fullback. So it's about arriving into space rather than starting there. I think it's what the best players do, and I think United could do with it. But let me know what you think. Also about Mount, Ten Hag spent a lot of money on him. Why do you think he isn't playing at the moment? Truthfully, I have no idea. I find it mind-boggling that he isn't playing more. I don't really know why he's not starting. The one thing I would maybe say is I think that Ten Hag had an idea of how he wanted to play this season, and I think it largely was built around Lisandro Martinez. I think it's why we saw him rushed back from pre-season, from injury in pre-season. We saw last season that United's levels dropped the second Lisandro Martinez dropped out the side. He's so important, and Luke Shaw is as well. So I think perhaps Ten Hag had a plan, a style of play he wanted to use, which involved Mason Mount, but also Lisandro Martinez and Shaw. But without those two defenders there, perhaps he doesn't think Mount works in that new system he was trying. So instead he's going for something different. I'm not sure, but that's maybe where I'm at. What do you think about Mount and Amrabat double pivot and Eriksen in a 10? I believe Eriksen is more intelligent and better playmaker than Fernandes. I think Eriksen might be more intelligent, or certainly have a better understanding of tempo. I'm not sure he's a better playmaker. Well, in terms of pure creativity, but I see the argument there. Amrabat, Mainoo, Eriksen is probably our best midfield at the moment. Yeah, I believe Mainoo is with the under-19s today, so he will not be playing for United. Why not play a natural winger on the right wing? Well, someone said about Mount, so I just thought I'd have a look at it. Maybe this is a stretch, but Eriksen was probably in the press conference before because he is starting. Yeah, perhaps that's what I was saying about earlier. I do wonder if that. I think there might be something in that. Normally, the players which do the press conferences tend to start. United players are usually static and don't move into space. Very true. Eriksen is a better crosser, though. Yeah, I'd give you that. Yep. Would it be better if we had wingers and midfielders who knows how to scan the pitch and make good pass inside, rather than this slow pace moving the ball to the back line, then going over the top? Absolutely. But I think to an extent, United do have the players to do that, which is why Ten Hag frustrates me a little bit. Ten Hag has spoken a lot about injuries and not having certain players available, and I do agree with him. I think it's difficult to play Ten Hag football with the current squad against a Manchester City, against an Arsenal, against a Newcastle. I think it's quite difficult. But when we're talking about the likes of Fulham and Luton, I think even this team can produce the football which Ten Hag wants. So I think it's a mixture of the players and also the manager. It's time to feed Højlund. Tired of a graveyard shift. He needs chances. I completely agree. I do love to see a striker who puts in a really good graveyard shift, but not for your team. You don't mind watching it for someone else, a striker who battles away, but you don't want to see it for your club. It's not a good thing to see, really. Could we consider Eriksen on the right wing instead of Mount, as he's good at putting in crosses? The problem with Eriksen on the right wing would be that most likely the fullback's going to be faster than him. Does he have the athletic ability to create a yard of space and separate himself from the opposition to actually get the cross in the first place? Your left back and left centre back shouldn't be the foundation of your system. I think they can be the foundation of your system, but it can't be a case of that when they're out, everything disappears. So I think it's okay to build around them, but yeah, it can't be the only ones that can do it. So I think we need a left centre back, another one personally, so we don't have such a drop off. Ali, thank you very much for the donation. The $9.99 saying, good morning, AJ. Big day today. Hope you get the win today. Hope you're all doing well, my friends. Before anyone says anything else, let's spam some love hearts in chat. Say thank you to Ali. Spam some clapping emojis as well. If you want custom emojis on the channel, by the way, you should now be able to become a channel member. If you go to my YouTube page, there should be a join button. And you can join, get channel emojis, etc. So check that out. But yeah, spam some love hearts to say thank you to Ali. Greatly appreciate the donation, as always, my friend. And yeah, it's a big game indeed. Must win, if you ask me. I think it pretty much is. AJ, if you have to be honest, do you think that Bruno is good enough to be the core of our club? Or should we build our team around a different player? Maybe future transfer? I think he's okay to play there and kind of be a core player for the next 18 months still. I think after that, as in, I don't think he's a priority that we need to address and get him out of the team. But I think he is a player which eventually probably gets moved out. Funky, thank you very much for the donation. The 20, saying good work, love the podcast. Thank you very much for the donation. Really appreciate that. Again, everyone, spam some love hearts to say thank you for that donation. That is greatly, greatly appreciated. I'm going to spam some love hearts myself. Get some love hearts going in chat. Clapping emojis again. Make sure to say thank you to Funky and Ali. I greatly appreciate those two donations. Two absolute legends. Thank you very much. Hope you're both well. Hope you're both having good days. Hope you're both looking forward to the match. Let me know if you are or not. I'm not. It's a weird one to look ahead to. Do you get excited about it? You have to, because it's your team and it's United. But then the second they play, it normally disappoints you. Edwick has become a member of the channel, our first ever member. And what you'll see now is that he has a little goat symbol next to his name. So Edwick, mate, every month you become a member, you'll get a better symbol. So basically, that's proof that Edwick is a goat of the channel. Thank you very much for becoming our first member. If anyone else wants to do it, there is a join page on the channel. Thank you very much, Edwick. Thank you, Funky, for the donation, and also Ali. Greatly appreciate all of those. Legends, absolute legends. We can't play players like Mount or Mount, Bruno, or Eriksen at right wing. They simply aren't good out of position. I think they can do jobs there. I don't think you necessarily want them all the time. Edwick, have you got the emoji with the cap and the AJ symbol? Spam that in chat just to show it off to people. Edwick is now part of an exclusive club of members, which also means he might be getting some bonus content. Look, we've got the AJ hat in chat. Ali saying I still can't join and become a member. Not sure if it's because I live in the USA. Not sure. It shouldn't be that. I'll check it and try and get it sorted for you at some point. I'll look into it. I might be able to do it in a different way as well. So I'll get in touch with you at some point, Ali. What's your assessment of Amrabat? Apart from his lack of aerial presence, I think Amrabat is a good player. I just think at the moment, because the team is still quite transitional and things, it's quite difficult for him to play his slower style when everyone else wants to play forward quite quickly. I think if the team was much more balanced and more controlled, I think we'd see a better Amrabat. Yeah, no worries, Ali. We'll get it sorted, mate. Thank you very much, though. Fernandes' stats are misleading. He does more forward passes than other midfielders, but less success percentage, less assists. So just trying to calculate what you're saying there. he's very high risk, high reward in a way that he plays realistically, which is why I have those concerns in the long term. I think Amrabat needs to improve his understanding of the game. I think what he needs to do at times is make himself more actively available for the ball. I thought that he'd done it quite well for Fiorentina at times, but again, last week against Copenhagen, all it took really was Klaassen to follow him a decent amount, and it just took him out of the game. So, yeah, I agree with you in that sense. AJ, have you ever realised how much we press the opposition when it's around the 75th minute, but we can't do it during the rest of the game? Yeah, I think particularly against Fulham we saw that intensity in the last 10-15 minutes, but that's it. We need to see it much more sustained, much more continued throughout a match. Bruno tries too much and I don't like it. As in he tries to play forward too much, yeah. A bit like Casemiro as well. Would Bruno shine more in a Real Madrid or a Barcelona shirt? Possibly a Madrid shirt, simply because they're more the rest of the team. You've got the right profiles around him, but it's difficult to say, really. Amrabat needs one next to him to shut down more space. He can't do it on his own. That's why I'd like to see a Mason Mount, someone who covers a lot of ground, someone who's got those high energetic levels. That's why I'd like to see it. De Bruyne is very similar to Bruno, but he has better retentive players around him. I think De Bruyne's got a slight physical advantage as well, with his size and ability to protect the ball. But yeah, in terms of forcing the ball forward quite a lot, in terms of misplacing quite a lot of passes, De Bruyne is very similar. But like you've said, De Bruyne's got a better unit around him, which one wins the ball back much quicker, much better, but also keeps the ball better as well. Hannibal covers a lot of ground as well. Yeah, Hannibal would be another shout for this game. For me personally, the issue of Hannibal would be the atmosphere. The atmosphere, is going to be intense. He gets booked every single game. Do you trust him? I'm not sure I do at the moment. Do you think United should have got a register instead of Mount in the summer? My idea all last season was that we needed a deep lying playmaker, first phase receiver. Mason Mount isn't that currently. He might be developed into it. So, yeah, in a way, I think we should have. I mentioned before on stream, Bruno lacks a physical specimen. Meant that he often passed very quick before other players tackle him. Again, I do think that's a good point. I remember you saying that before. I think a lot of the time, because Bruno Fernandes doesn't want or almost can't match a physical challenge on him, he feels the need to get the ball off quite quickly. I think that definitely could be a point. We have too many gaps in our setup. Not sure how many teams collapse on players so well and so fast. Yeah, I think it's spot on. Imagine Rasmus Højlund getting those chances that Núñez missed for Liverpool. We can dream. We can dream of that sort of chance creation at a beautiful club. Gravenberch was cheaper than Mount. Yeah, Gravenberch was a player that I suggested quite early last season. Edwick, do you mind if I ask whereabouts in the world you are? The fact that you were able to get a membership, but Ali's struggling. If you wouldn't mind, let me know. How would you solve United's out of possession issues long term? I don't want to go into it too much because I want to do a video on it in a few days. Firstly, I think you need new players, new profiles, but definitely a new structure as well. A 4-4-2 mid-block would be my approach, but we'll go more in depth another day. So Edward, you're in the UK. Maybe it is a problem with overseas at the moment then. I'll look into it. I'll look into it and try and get that sorted for you guys. Out of possession, you mean structure? I think a 4-4-2 mid-block would be my approach. But again, we'll cover that another day because I don't like United's current structure. But there should be a video, depending on what United do tonight, there should be a video by the end of the week. Do you think Amrabat should be signed permanently? There's a lot of time to decide that, fortunately. Give him the full season, go from there and decide. Score prediction, great question. Everyone get your score prediction in chat. I'm going to go 2-0 to United. United. But let me know your score predictions in chat, guys. What do we reckon? 2-0, 2-1 United, 2-1. Is Corey here today? He's normally pretty accurate with his predictions. Corey's not here, is he? $4-0. That would be lovely. 1-0 Maguire goal. To be honest, Martinez and Luke Shaw injuries have weakened the back line to the extent of exposing our midfield. Spot on, I completely agree. Imagine Højlund getting passes from Bruno and McTominay instead of them always trying to score themselves. Would be nice. Copenhagen have scored in every game so far. Do you think that will be the case again? Ali says 1-0 to United in a cagey game. 2-1 United, tight match. 3-0, be a dreamer. Mate, I predicted the score the previous match. What, the Copenhagen game or the... Did you call the last Copenhagen one? My man, codename, my man. Thoughts about the atmosphere in Copenhagen? I am worried about the mental ability of our bunch. Me too. Me too. I'm very concerned about the mental side of the game. Because there's a lot of pressure on these United players because they have to win. They're also going into a ridiculous atmosphere. The wingers don't go to the byline. That's why Rasmus is starving. They cut in too much and they don't use the overlapping run of the fullback smartly. I completely agree. I think our crossing ability is just really poor as well. Who's spamming love hearts in chat? Love that from you. I'll spam some more. There you go. Edwick, are you in a Discord server? If you are, message at some point. Let me know some other emojis you'd like to see for members. The more members we get, the more different emojis we can have. I can change some of the current ones, so let me know. Mate, we're going out of Europe, and I think that's a good thing. More time on the training ground. We are not equipped to play this competition for now, at least. I think, yeah, I mean, if we go out tonight, or if we go out in the group at all, the initial reaction would be incredibly negative. I know that for a fact. But there would almost be that silver lining of, at least we can actually have some time on the training ground. No worries, Edwick. You can message me on Twitter or Instagram or anything if you want to let me know what emojis you'd like, or just comment on the community post. Anthony needs to learn to work with his fullback rather than passing the ball back to the centre-back. It's something he done incredibly well with Ajax. He had a brilliant understanding with Mazraoui down the right-hand side. The understanding of when they overlap, when they use each other, when they play the ball to each other was brilliant. He needs to get that with one of these United players. Hi from Greece, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. I would like to mention that Girona uses a 3-1-6 that Ten Hag used at Ajax and wanted to use at United as well, and they are doing wonders. Can you make a video about that? Good question. I would like to do some videos on some different teams. I'd like to look at Bayer Leverkusen. So perhaps if Girona can stay top of the league for a couple of weeks, then yeah, I reckon I will do a video on it. The fact that City, Dortmund, Sevilla all failed to beat them in Denmark last season and Bayern grind out a win versus Copenhagen is going to be tough. Completely agree. And let me just try and read these. Sorry, but 1-1 United haven't given anything to back them. I think that's a fair point. Do you think a diamond could work tonight? Ooh. I haven't really considered it yet, I'll be honest with you. Who would you want in your diamond? Maybe if you let me know, we could have a look at that in a second. I see goals. 3-2 to United because our counter-press setup is poor. We can see too many players forward and there is less cover. Fair enough, yeah, completely agree. Was contemplating us dropping out of the Champions League to get more time in training with this current side, but also want them to give it their all. Perhaps that's the way to look at this game then. If we win, brilliant, we're still in the Champions League, the biggest competition in club football. Great. If we go out, or if we get ourselves in a position where it looks like we're going to go out, just take the silver lining of at least we actually get to see this team playing once a week for a bit and training. Although I like the content when they play on a more regular basis, but we'll see. Either way, whatever the result is, it's not going to be the end of the world. Hi mate, I don't think going out gives us time on a training ground as we'll be relegated to Europa League. That's a good point actually. It depends. If we go out, I want to go fourth. I do not want Europa League. But yeah, really good point. Hope you're well. Yeah. Yeah, that is a good point. If we go out, let's go all the way out. I don't want to fall into Europa League again. Can't deal with another season of Europa League. It does my head in. And Amrabat, Mount, Ericsson, Bruno, Diamond. Ronaldo saying the same. Okay. Kobe Mainoo, Mount, Bruno should be our midfield tonight. with Amrabat at right back. Unfortunately, Kobe is with the youth team today. I believe they've got a 3 o'clock kickoff against Copenhagen under 19s. Should be watching that game in a bit to see how he's doing. Europa League with Sevilla again. If they drop down as well, we've all read that script, right? Agree, the Europa League was dreadfully tiring. I just find it difficult to get excited about Europa League games as well. Champions League has that buzz about it. Europa League, particularly when we've been in it so much recently, it's just a drag, and it's just no one wants to be in Europa League. Unless you're if you're a top team, you don't want to be in Europa League. If you win it, you go, yeah, it's a big trophy, but you don't really want it. Although it would be a path into the Champions League next season. I want United to be out of all of the cup games and play a game a week. This is actually something which I've spoke about quite a lot with Ten Hag compared to Postecoglou at Spurs. Spurs under Postecoglou, everyone's saying how come he's got them to play their football so much quicker. Now I think a lot of it is better suited profiles and things like that. But I think also the fact that they don't play every 3 days gives them much more time to train. So let's say if you play on a Saturday, a Wednesday and a Saturday, you play on a Saturday, Sunday will be a recovery day, Monday's training, Tuesday's going to be training but also tactical preparation for the game, you're going to play Wednesday. So then Thursday you've got another recovery day, Friday you're going to train, Saturday you're playing again. So there's not much time on the training ground actually working tactically and improving, whereas if you're a team which is out of the Cup and out of Europe, you play Saturday, recover Sunday, you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday on the training pitch, working on different patterns and things, and also preparing tactically for different games. I think that's what perhaps Eddie Howe has struggled with a little bit with Newcastle this season. Last season, because they were playing mostly every 7 days, you can really prepare for that next game. Whereas when you've got a game in 3 days, you have less tactical preparation time to come up with a plan as well. As a Dane, I normally support Copenhagen, but tonight I support United 100%. What's your scoreline prediction? Also, we need more likes on this stream, by the way, guys. We aren't a top team, though. Fair argument. Callum, are you watching the stream? Do I want a hot drink? I'm good, thank you. Would it be better to start Hannibal rather than Eriksen, since he has a bit more speed and hunger? My problem with Hannibal, like I've said, is his temperament. In a big game, big pressure, is he just going to get himself booked and sent off? That would be my concern. I think he done well the other week to not get a second yellow after being booked so early and still playing with an intensity. You could see Newcastle, Joel Linton in particular, were trying to get him sent off. I think he done really well in that game. Would it be different away in Europe? FP, great shout. Let's get the page, or let's get the stream to 60 likes. Hi AJ, I don't use any social media. Is there a way I can ask for badges, etc. via YouTube? Yeah, if you know when I do a community post on the channel where it's like, we'll be streaming in blah, blah, blah. If you just reply in the comments to one of them, what you would like to see in terms of emojis, then yeah, do that. Absolutely. And I'll make some changes for whatever you'd like, mate. We're capped to 4 emojis at the moment. Every time we get more members, we can have more, though. 60 likes for Buster on stream. I don't want to make that promise because I think he's downstairs today. Most coaches prefer playing regular matches. I think what it is, right? I think you like to get in the pattern eventually. I think for your first season, it's almost good to play less games, and then your second season, go for it. So I think Spurs, for example, if they can have this year where they play once a week to really understand the Postecoglou way, then next year they'll be ready for twice a week. Whereas United didn't have that luxury last year. That's how I see it. I think the fact that Eric takes every game and every competition seriously, playing the first team all the time, massively contributes to our injuries. Thoughts? Spot on. I completely agree. I think he's done a bit better job of rotating this season. I think in the Carabao Cup, we've seen Bruno and Rashford rested in both games. So I think he's done a bit of a better job this season. But then we've gone out of those competitions. So it's a weird one to juggle. Do you want to stay in them? How badly do you want to win them? Are you better off resting players? It is a difficult one. How confident am I feeling? I think we'll win 2-0. I wouldn't describe myself as confident, but I think we will win. We need a full rebuild if we are going to be a top team, like 2 to 3 years of rebuild, but do we have the patience? I personally do, as long as we see steps in the right direction. Do we as a fan base, do we as a football club? We'll have to wait and see. By the way, guys, something else you'll notice is that if you become a member, your name is a different colour in chat, like Edwick has. So I see your messages without you needing to donate, which is pretty cool. So I can see when Edwick's talking because his name is a different colour because he's a member. So that's another bonus of becoming a member if you do wish to do so. Hannibal isn't creative though. Yeah, I think with Hannibal you're looking for him more for his ball carrying and things like that. The training sessions raise an eyebrow for me. I wonder how well they're accounted for in a general recovery plan. Yeah, I've questioned the intensity of training all season long in terms of, is it too hard? Is it not hard enough? It's definitely something I've questioned. If he could trust his squad, he would rotate more. Also a fair point. We see the way that the team changes as soon as Lisandro Martinez comes out the side, as soon as Bruno Fernandes comes out the side. There's definitely a drop-off. What do you think about Bayern playing Tell? Seems like a GOAT-level talent. His smell for space at this age is incredible. Plus, elite ball striking as well. Very good at 1v1. Truthfully, I need to see more of him. I wouldn't say I've seen enough of him to really pass judgment. But yeah, he's a player I want to watch more because from the little I have seen, he does look like a great talent. Arsenal have long years of a rebuild that result right now, spot on. However, Arsenal actually looks some injury away from crumbling. Yeah, I think Arsenal are struggling a little bit this season. I didn't fully like their business in the summer. I thought some of it was good, some of it not so much. I don't think Havertz was the right signing. I think Arsenal should have gone for Mount. I think that would have been a great signing for them. It sounds nice that Eric's putting people through the ringer after a loss, but are those surprise sessions tiring us out more than teaching us a lesson? Yeah, they probably have an effect to start off with, right? Like last season, we supposedly went on that big run after the Brentford game. I think here and there it has an effect. You can't just physically punish players after every loss, though, because with this squad, they'll be out pretty soon. Edwick said, I heard the players are complaining about how they don't get enough of a break between training sessions. It's difficult to read into it too much as well, though, because the players seem to complain a lot. I think our youth system has produced decent players, but no centre-back. Yeah, I'm keeping a closer eye on it this year. The youth system, to try and see players coming through. AJ, sorry I'm late. Hope you're well. No worries, Alex, mate. Hope you're good as well. Do you think Maguire will start as left centre-back as opposed to right centre-back? Keep up the great work. Thank you very much for the kind words. I hope you're good, my friend. If it was me, he plays left centre-back. If it's Ten Hag, I think he plays right centre-back. So, I don't know. Surely you don't play Johnny Evans ahead of Raphael Varane for this game. Surely you need the cool head of Varane, so you put Maguire left centre-back. I don't know. I feel Spurs will drop massively with the sending off. The Maddison injury. Yeah, the Van de Ven injury is a huge one as well for them. Physically, the way he covered a lot of ground. We were talking about that sort of player yesterday. Van de Ven's one of the best in the world at it. We need a flat 3 in midfield that licenses a player to go forward instead of the 4-2-4 we essentially play. I would go Evans only so Maguire can go right centre-back. Yeah, so that's kind of Ten Hag's view on it. Evans seems more in form than Varane. I think Evans has had a couple of poor games. I thought he was playing really well to start off with. I think the last couple have been a little bit poor. We might have a great youth academy centre-back if Paul Mitchell joins United. Fingers crossed, we can dream, we can dream. It's our most balanced idea of a centre-back pairing. See, I personally like Maguire left centre-back. I completely get what Ten Hag's talking about with games in which he faces a lot of pressure, moving him. But I don't know, it's a difficult one. It is a difficult one. It's just the fact that you drop Johnny Evans for Raphael Varane, though, just doesn't seem to add up. Ten Hag needs press-resistant, energetic, metronomic central midfielders, a ball-playing, press-resistant centre-back, and a technical player that we have to get back from injury, and we will play his style of football. Yeah, I agree. Edwick says, why do you like Maguire on the left? The main reason I like Maguire on the left is he just seems at home there because he's played there a lot. That's one of the main reasons. I think he just seems more comfortable. I also like his switched passes out to the right-hand side, which we probably don't take advantage of enough because our right wingers at the club in the past few years haven't been very good. But I think Maguire just always looks more at home on the left. I think he's improving on the right, but I think he looks more at home on the left. Like, he just looks more comfortable because he's played there more, in my opinion. Also where he plays for England as well. It doesn't add up at all. However, we're worse with Maguire left centre-back, no matter how great Varane is. That's a fair point. I guess we'll see, really, how much Ten Hag prefers Maguire on the right tonight. If tonight, of all nights, in a must-win game, he goes Evans-Maguire, that would really be a statement that Maguire is just not ever playing left centre-back. So it'll be interesting to see. To be honest, if we signed Johnny Evans on a free, why the heck did we not sign Ramos? Way better ball-playing centre-back. I guess the wage demand, maybe. Would Ramos want to be a backup? Don't know. The problem with the Maguire and Evans partnership is the fact that they are extremely slow and get exploited. Yeah, wish Evans was 6 years younger. We sold him when he was 6 years younger is the thing. Dalot must play left back whenever he features or never at all. I like him as a left back, I do agree. There were examples of line-breaking passes from Maguire from right centre-back versus Fulham, not seen previously. Oh, I completely agree that his progressive passing was brilliant against Fulham. I'm not sure I agree that not previously seen. I think you just see a different type. So what you see when he plays on the right, let's just talk about this real quick. What you see as Maguire receives the ball, let's say the ball is with Varane, or let's put Evans here. The ball's with Johnny Evans. It goes to Maguire. Because he's right-footed playing on the right side, he can step in, and in 2 touches, he can now fire the ball through here. Right? And I think he done that brilliantly against Fulham. What you see, and he's going to pass to a midfielder most likely, right? I feel like what you see when he plays on the left a bit more, though, is that he receives the ball, he drops into a wider position, receives the ball like this. So he probably just takes an extra touch, I guess, when he plays this side. But I think we still see those progressive passes because he's now almost, rather than stepping forward onto it, he almost cuts it back a little bit more. So whereas this side he's passing more like this or kind of to a wider angle, this is more of a reverse pass angle. So it's just different angles, different dynamics. He invites so much pressure. Dalot makes good passes look bad and allows us to be pressed higher and easier with his poor touches. I think Dalot seems to have just random moments in games where just can't control a football. Like, largely, I'd say technically he's quite good, but he just has these awful moments. Edwick said, I can't believe we were after Kim and Jay and ended up with Evans. Yeah. Yeah, it hurts. Maybe because of homegrown rule, we signed Evans, possibly. I also don't think we were expecting Evans to play that much. I think we're expecting Lindelof to not be horrendous, and also to have Lissandro available. Varane passes better with his left foot. I really like Varane's left foot. I think he's our best weak foot passer in the defence. He has too many of the moments is the issue. Dalot, he can be pressed by my Tuesday League team. No, I completely agree. He does have too many moments where he just seems... I don't know if he switches off or what it is, but he does have moments where he just completely lacks. Don't remind AJ about the centre-backs. Don't get me started. He's our press trigger if you watch. He's not every game, but yeah, he certainly is sometimes. Evans progresses the ball more than Varane. Yeah, with his passing, I would agree. I think Varane's probably a bit more progressive with his carrying, but yeah, I think you've got a fair point. I thought Lindelof has been really, really good, especially with his supportive runs. I think at centre-back he's struggled. I think at full-back it's difficult for him to excel because obviously he's not a full-back. I still think he's a good player, by the way. Evans in possession is okay, but defending transition is awful. Yeah, it's just when you look at other teams, we were talking about it yesterday though. When you talk about City defending a transition with Kyle Walker's back there, Gvardiol's back there, big players like Stones and Diaz. Arsenal have got Saliba back there. We've got Johnny Evans and Maguire, who aren't the quickest. If Ten Hag starts Rashford, then whoever plays left back has to overlap. Again, it depends what dynamic you're going for, but I certainly agree that I don't want Lindelof left back. We either need to go for a Region, where is he? Bomb and forward on the overlap, or a Dalot properly inverting. Nothing in between. Path with the donation, thank you very much. Everyone make sure to say thank you in the chat, spam some love hearts. Off topic, but have you looked into Raspadori and Cherki as right-wing targets? Raspadori, not so much. Cherki I've watched a lot of because I watch a lot of Lyon. less so this season, but in general, I watch them quite a lot. I think Shirky's a great player. I just have real concerns physically and also off the ball. Like I said, Raspadori, haven't really seen him so much. But again, thank you very much for the donation. It is greatly appreciated. Everyone say thank you to Path in chat. Get some love hearts, spam some more. Spam some more. I'll help you out. Let's spam some love hearts. Also, like the stream while you're here as well. Can we get to 60? We need just 2 more likes. But thank you very much for the donation. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're enjoying the stream. Evans simply shouldn't be a United player in 2023. Pissed me off that we're this low and backwards as a club. Yeah. Yeah, it makes me sad too. Wingers can also absolutely cook Dallo at times. I think he's got better in that department, but he does, again, he still has his moments. Dallo's getting a lot of hate. For a guy that's 6 foot, Dallo gets bullied too easily. This is why yesterday I was talking about players like Gertruda, for example, to come in and play right back. I know some people think about Todibo in that way as well. Raspadori is a great shout for a versatile forward. I have to look into him more. I saw him a lot earlier in his career. In the past 12 months, not so much, so I'll have to look into it. Thank you very much for the suggestion, though, and of course the donation. Greatly appreciated. Gertruda was decent yesterday. Yeah, he had that mistake leading up to one of the goals, or to the goal, I should say, which is poor. He's just far too deep. In general, I thought he'd done pretty well. I liked the way he was kind of using his body and stuff at times, his weak foot. I think he did do better than what he'd done yesterday. If you're wondering what we're referencing there, by the way, FP is in the Discord server, and we were kind of live talking about the Feyenoord game last night because there's a lot of players there to scout for United potentially signing in the future. It's a thing where we talk about different players, different matches, literally live in chat. Join the Discord server. There's a link on my community page. You can check it out. Let me see if I can find the link for you now, actually. Let me just put Ten Hag on screen for a little bit. Let me see if I can find the link for you. Or FP if you got it, if not. But yeah, if you join the Discord, we can talk about stuff and matches live. Also, if you become a member of the channel, you'll get bonus content on the Discord. So there's a lot to be looking forward to, and there's a lot of reasons to get it. The link to the Discord server, mate. I think I've got it. No, I haven't. Okay, I don't suppose you could grab it, FP, and just whack it in chat. Don't have to if you don't want to. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah, let's go back to the tactics board. So FP is going to put a link to the Discord in chat shortly. If you guys want to join that, completely free to do so. You can talk about football. We can talk about other teams, players, whatever. Gertruda looks lightweight to me. I think for a centre-back he is a little bit. I don't like him as a centre-back. I think as a right-back he's actually quite good athletically. Hey AJ, good to see you. Hopefully United's Champions League dream stays alive today. Good to say. Good to see you as well, DJ, mate. Hope you're well. Hope you're good. And hopefully, fingers crossed, we get some sort of result tonight. Has to be a win. 62 likes. Can we push 70, guys? Can we push it? 65 first. Let's hit 65. Rasmus Højlund brings long balls down perfectly and should be played off. We have too many unintelligent players. Spot on. I think what we need to do with the long ball to Højlund is almost do it less, so when we do it, the opposition are less ready for it, if you know what I mean. Because I think it's such a good weapon. I think it's spot on. Hanko is so calm in build-up. Completely agree. 75 for Buster. He's not upstairs at the moment, I'm afraid. Alex has become a channel member. And a channel goat, that means. Thank you very much, Alex, for becoming a member. You should now get some custom emojis which you can use. You're going to get access to some bonus content on Discord if you're interested. If you want to join that, don't feel that you have to. You've also got a little badge now next to your name. It's a goat symbol, if you couldn't tell. Which means he's a goat of the channel. And basically, every month that you are a member, you get a new logo, a new badge to show how long you've been a member. Also, your name will be a different colour in chat, which means I can always see when you're talking, so I can see your messages. So thank you very much. And a green little flame emoji as well. Lovely. 63 likes at the moment. Can we hit 65? That sounded like I was doing an auction then. Can we hit 65? Against City, they gave up on winning the ball from him and just pressed the second ball. Yeah, we need to do a better job of kind of anticipating where that ball's going to land and being first to it. Alex is the GOAT of every GOAT United channel. Is Alex popular on every channel? Good man, Alex. I love that from you. Our players, as usual, were too far from the good knockdowns. Yeah, and I feel like sometimes we see it for the first 20 minutes, we're good on the knockdown, and then it just goes. Again, City. Pardon me, I do apologise. 75 likes, cap off stream. Maybe the next stream could be cap off. You don't want this cap off today. You don't want to see what's under here. Last season we talked a lot about chance creation stats from Bruno. How do we improve that for Højlund, asks Alex. I actually think it's a difficult one to answer. Because I don't know. I think largely it's going to come from the whole structure being a lot better. Now, I know it sounds like a cop-out answer. But I was asking my brother about content which I should do over the next couple of weeks, and that was something he said. How do you create more chances? And I feel like a lot of it is just by collectively being better. If we're better at playing the ball out from the back, we'll have more possession. If we're better at winning the ball back, we'll have more possession. If our counter press is better and things like that. If we have more possession, you would imagine we'll create more in the final third. You would assume. I think what we do need to utilise is better understanding of our wingers and fullbacks. We need to see consistency in someone like Rashford getting into this position and then someone flying around him. Can we get a cutback? Things like that. I think having Bruno consistently in the 10 position is important as well. I'm fed up with this job where he gets shifted out wide. Put him in the middle. He's creative there. Better decision making individually as well, yeah. I think some of it is a form issue. I think there's a lot of things that play into it. Again, it sounds like a cop-out answer, but I do feel like if the whole team was just better in general and better set up, the attack would benefit from that. How do we feed Højlund video would make sense. E.g. get the ball in tight areas to provide quality creating actions. I'll see what I can come up with. I like the idea of it. If you want to send me more video ideas, you can join the Discord server. And there's a channel which is dedicated to video ideas. So if you have any, let me know. Yeah, it's not an easy question to answer, but there's definitely an answer out there. So I'm happy to look into it. You may not get the video just yet, though. It's not necessarily coming this week. But maybe I can work on it. Bruno needs to slow down his passes sometimes. It reduces the quality of his delivery. Spot on. Something that Codename was talking about as well. Genuinely shocking how last season our problem was not scoring enough. Well, now it's both not scoring and creating chances. True. Yeah, long-term projects for sure. Definitely. What about Simakan for that Gertruda role? I haven't seen enough of Simakan. I know he's a good player from what the few matches I have seen. Is he top level? I need to scout and find out. Would you say he is? Let me know what you think, Ronaldo, because you've mentioned him a couple of times, so let me know what you think. I think the issue is the team needs to have more passing options for Bruno. It's way too easy to mark the pass to Højlund if nothing else is on. Excellent point. I think we're also just really predictable. It's really, like most moves United get into, you can nearly always tell what the next pass is going to be. And if we can do that, oppositions which have proper scouts and, analysts, they can see it as well. Højlund seems on hunger strike. Feed the beast. Completely agree. Get that man some chances. Give him some chances. I think he's looked really good, by the way. I've been really impressed by Højlund. But he just needs more chances for him, the poor guy. Just needs more chances to work with. Ten Hag will definitely start McTominay, unfortunately. Yeah, Tony, that is my fear. We're kind of been focusing on what perhaps we would do. We've come up with a few different ideas. But it is my fear, yeah. Can we just go back to a 4-4-2? Back to basics. Back to basics. Potentially. Other than Eriksen, no player finds Bruno in the 10 position. Yeah, and again, I think that's like the knock-on effect of the whole team. The angles aren't created well enough in deeper areas to open up the space for Bruno. The forwards don't move about enough. All sorts of things. I think also as well, because at times we push a lot of players forward quite early. One, like I go on about too much, you guys are probably bored of it. One of the results of pushing forward players really high really early is that these deep players don't have people to pass to, right? So I think that's a problem. The other problem, though, is that because you've got a lot of players in these areas, you are reducing the space for each individual. So Bruno's got less space if there's more people high. So if we drop Eriksen deeper, suddenly Bruno gets more room to operate, float around, be that free roam 10 which we want. So I think that's a problem as well. Let's hope the Discord blows up too. Yeah, it would be great if we could get a lot of people in there. Not sure how many we've got at the moment. I haven't actually promoted it in a video yet though, so that's definitely affecting it. Tomorrow morning, here's the picture, right? Tonight, we play Copenhagen. We beat them 2-0. Comfortable performance. Tomorrow I upload a video on it. It gets loads of views. We get loads of subscribers. We get some channel members. And everyone joins the Discord server. By the way, the Discord server is completely free. Doesn't cost a thing to join. So literally anyone can do that. So if you want to, make sure you check it out. Why don't any of our midfielders have the ability to carry the ball except for Mainoo? Such poor recruitment. You've answered it yourself. Such poor recruitment. I think Mount and Amrabat can do it, but they're not top at it. Or it depends on the game state and things like that. I do worry about the Copenhagen mid-block structure, says Alex. They wait and bait us into making mistakes. How does our midfield overcome that? I think the big problem with that also is, again, the structure that we often saw in the first game was a lot of players pushing forward. Amrabat stuck in this position. And, United are trying to force the ball forward through the lines too much. And the second Copenhagen win the ball back, Klaasen's going to come into this area, take Amrabat out of the way. And again, these two wingers come round. United can't afford to be impatient in this game if they use the same structure as recent weeks, because I think we'll just get shredded. Can you imagine Harry Maguire trying to defend large spaces? It's a long day. It's a long day. How do you become a member? Of the Discord, you can just check the link, which is on my community page. If you want to become a member of the channel, go to my, press the AJ Analysis page, and there should be a join button. If there isn't for you, DM me on Twitter or something, and I'll try and sort it out for you. But yeah, to become a member of the channel, you just go to the homepage, press join. If you want to join the Discord, there's a link on my community page. Bruno should limit his champagne passes and stop forcing passes, and try retain the ball more and play more accurate passes rather than trying something spectacular that ends up losing the ball. No worries, Graphic, no worries. Hope you're well, it's good to see you. What if we go back to basics? That is the way we played last year. Now we have the better players to play last year's tactic. It's something I've touched on a few times. I feel like United have tried this season to take a step forward to playing a certain way. I think it's why we signed an Onana. I think it's why we signed a Mason Mount. And then a couple of key players got injured, so we can't do a new tactic. But we also can't quite do last season's tactic because we haven't got our Freds in the team. And it leaves us really in between. I think that is a big problem. High risk, high reward, some says. Yeah, spot on. Spot on. If that happens, that's not Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, pretty much. Who's the Portugal? Who's the Portugal? Who in here is from Portugal? Who's the Portuguese fan? Because they say they watch Bruno and he doesn't tend to do it quite as much for Portugal. Who is it? Who here supports Portugal again? You sing loads of praises for Amrabat. I think he's a good player. I think we need to wait and see more of him. By the way, where have I put... Am I blind? Where have I put Maguire? I've lost Maguire, guys. Where's Maguire gone? Am I being stupid? I've lost my Maguire. He's in good form. I don't want to lose him. Did I delete that? Am I stupid? I deleted him? I did not even mean to do that. That was complete... Why did I do that? That was my brain. I didn't do that. That was my brain doing its own thing. Matt Wicks has become a channel GOAT, also known as a channel member. Thank you very much, my friend. You've now got a custom badge next to your name to show that you are a true GOAT of the channel. Every month you become a member, like every month longer, you get a new badge to show that you're a legend, basically. Your name is now in a different color, so I can see your messages a lot easier to make sure that I reply to you. And emojis and things like that. Let me know. You're on Discord, aren't you, Matt? So let me know other ideas which you'd like for emojis. Yeah, every time we see someone become a channel member, let's spam some of our custom emojis for the new member. So spam some of the love hearts, the flames, the cap, and what's the other one? I can't remember. You accidentally removed Maguire just like you want him out during the transfer window. Yeah, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign. I didn't even mean to do it. Yeah, Matt, if you let me know some different emojis you'd like to see on, if you let me on Discord, I'll try and make the changes on here. And it can be anything, by the way. Like, it could be a little, like, Ten Hag. We could have a Ten Hag emoji. If Eriksen starts, who replaces him on the hour when batteries run out? Actually, a really good question, actually. Because what we've done with this, if we are starting Mount, we do create that problem. So that's a really good question, Alex. Yeah, that is a great question. McTominay. It's not a great answer. So maybe we can't start Eriksen and Mount because after 60 minutes we can't replace him. You'd like a Ten Hag emoji? Okay, I'll show you an idea I had before at some point. So does that mean? I mean, Alex, would you start Eriksen or not? I get lost with who said what. Because I prefer, personally, start Mount, then bring Eriksen on around 65th, 70th. Codename agrees. So, if that's the case then, who are we playing on the right wing if we can only play one of these two in midfield? Who's our right winger? Garnacho? Anthony? Facundo Pellistri. Who are we going for? So Alex saying he'd start Mount and Pellistri right wing. That was my initial thought. When I was making my notes for this stream, that's what I was leaning towards. The starting 11 I created, for those that are interested, was this. But since a few people have mentioned it, I've become tempted by Pellistri, by Garnacho. You'd say start Eriksen as we want control from the get-go. It's really difficult. A poll was a great idea, Ali. Great suggestion. Who should start right wing? Do you think Forson could be used like Bergwijn or Tadic? I saw someone on Twitter saying that earlier. I can't remember who it was. I don't really know enough about him, to be honest, to be able to really make a conclusion. I need to watch way more of him than I have. But yeah, I did see someone saying that earlier. Who was it? Who said it? Someone said it on Twitter. Was it you? It might have been you that said it. I can't remember. Football Nate. Okay. So shortly, you guys should be getting a poll. You should get a poll pop up now any second. 68 likes. Can we get to 70, guys? Can we get to 70 likes on the stream? That'd be incredible. Anthony would start over Pellistri. Rashford would start over Garnacho. Yeah, so let's do this vote as rather than what should Ten Hag do or what will Ten Hag do what you would do. Not to go full Kino, but we need to fight in this game, and Pellistri always brings that. I think him coming through early in Uruguay hardened him. Yeah, I think, again, not to go full Kino, but this team needs a bit of grit about it tonight. We do need to see a fight. United can't go over there and play all la-di-da and be soft out of possession. The players have got to be there physically. It's why I'm worried about Eriksen, because I just don't know if he can cover the ground. We need our wingers to wait for support or 1v1s to dribble. It ruins our counter press, for example, when the right wing dribbles and the right side is too far to win the ball back, opening us to counters. Great point. I think it's what City do really well. They have wingers who can 1v1 dribble, Doku, for example. But it's about when you do it. Because United have wingers that can 1v1 dribble, but we don't see it as effectively. It's about making a decision. I've got the ball here. I'm against two players. But my left back is a mile away. My left centre mid is dropped a mile out of position into a different role. This isn't the time to dribble, because if I lose it, like you said, the counter press is awful. The rest defence is awful. The opposition counter. Whereas, let's say I've got the ball here. I've got my fullback just up behind me. I've got a midfielder here. Now maybe it's a bit safer to go take on my man. I completely agree. I think you're spot on. And that's where we need to see more patterns developed in the play style and also just more intelligence from the players. We need some width. Facundo Pellistri will hold the width. Mount won't. What are your thoughts on Garnacho on the right-hand side, Alex? I'm leading towards Facundo at the moment, but just interested to hear your thoughts. We do need to see a fight. We are doomed then. Possibly. The players are not intelligent. Spot on. AJ, the thoughts on the 2024 Champions League reform. I don't really understand. Why it's happening. I do. Money! But it's not great for football. The players are not intelligent. It's now a coaching issue. I think some of it is, like you said, some of the players just aren't intelligent footballers. But also, it's definitely a coaching issue as well. I believe play players in their best position, so Garnacho on left wing, not right wing. Yeah, fair enough. Has Garnacho ever played right wing for the first team? I can't remember. Question is Garnacho or Rashford left wing. I'm going to do a poll on that just after this. You've read my mind. Anthony can play as a false 9 like Tadic did in 2019. Would need to look into it. We're nearly at 1,000 views total for this stream, by the way, which is incredible. And we're up to 70 likes, so thank you guys very much. He has only got an assist. Did he start the game there? Or did he come on and or move there? I can't actually remember. And if so, what game was it, just out of interest? Against Arsenal briefly. Okay, so has he played, let's say, an hour on the right wing for United or not? Let me know, because it's not a rhetorical question. I genuinely don't know. Let's get some more votes on that poll, guys. There's about 80 people in here and only 45 votes. Let's get to 50, and then we'll do a vote for the left wing. To shut down Super League? Yeah, that is another reason as well. It's a different version of it, almost. Let's get 3 more votes, and then we'll move on to the left wing debate as well. Because we're getting there on our starting 11 now. I think we're starting Mount. We could do a Dallo Region poll as well, but I doubt anyone cares enough. What's the Super League about? Honestly, a conversation for another day, because there's too much to go into there. But we can talk about it another time, perhaps. Let's get a couple more votes, guys. There's about 80 people in the stream. Matt saying, I've always rated Facundo's ability to play right up against the pitch boundaries. He's confident taking people around the outside, even when it's a centimetre from the line. That's a really good point, actually, yeah. He is certainly a player which makes full use of the pitch. I think he's the closest thing to a byline player, which United have got as well, right? I think he's the player most likely to attack in these areas. I think United really lack that. So yeah, I think that's a great point. Let's get one more vote on that poll. Facundo Pellistri stealing the show at the moment. 57% of votes. 24% for Mount. Anthony on 12. Garnacho on 6. Pellistri is very good on the right. I think he's struggled in some games from the start, but I think give him a go again. Had to go quickly. What do you think of Ahmad being given a chance as no one is making it theirs? Great question. Chat, what do we think? Ahmad right wing, is he going to get a good amount of game time there this season or not really? 53 votes total on the poll. Thank you very much, guys. Greatly appreciated. Thank you for getting involved. So we're going to start Facundo on the right. Now we need left wing. I think the only options really are Rashford or Garnacho. Guys, let me know what you think about Ahmad. Obviously not yet, not this game. But when he's back from injury, for me, Ahmad is better at decision-making than Anthony and Pellistri. He's kind of got that kind of cuter play style as well, hasn't he? A little bit more subtle. But let me know what you think. You think Ahmad should be loaned? Let me know where you'd like to see him loaned to. Have I spelled everything right there? Doesn't Ahmad tuck inside rather than hold the width? We would need the right back holding the width instead. Yeah, he's definitely, I'd say, a different profile to the others. I don't think he's a copy and paste of the other guys. He's a different style of player, particularly compared to Facundo. FP, that's literally what I was then loading my phone up to check. I'm going to watch that after this. Kobe Mainoo starts for the under-19s today. Ali's saying he would start Pellistri on the right, but you'd also be tempted to see what Mount can do. Yeah, Mount has played right wing before in more of a 3-4-3 for Chelsea, so I think he could do a job there. When fit, Ahmad could compete with Pellistri, assuming Sancho is leaving and Antony is either benched or loaned. Yep, I think that's a fair point. We've got another channel member, also known as a channel GOAT, the greatest of all time. You are an absolute legend on the channel. Thank you very much, Corey, for becoming a member. You've now got a little custom badge next to your name to show that you are a member. Your name is also now a different colour to everyone else's, so I can see your messages and reply to you. And also you should have some custom emojis. If you want different custom emojis, message me on Discord and let me know what you'd like. But thank you very much for becoming a member. It's great to see you, and I hope you're well. How are you feeling about this game, Corey? Because your predictions are normally quite good. Oh, FP, that midfield 3 is beautiful. That midfield 3 is beautiful, so I will be... yeah, I'm going to be watching that. If you are a member, and you've just seen that Corey's become a member, use some of your new emojis to welcome him. Give him some love hearts, some flames, caps. Ahmad is more of an inverted winger. Yeah, I think that's a fair way of describing him. I'd like to see him given a chance, though. Perhaps if we were to get a decent game in the opening round to the FA Cup, for example. If we were to get a championship side, maybe playing an Ahmad in a game like that could be quite nice to go from there. Ahmad has similar traits to Saka. Corey saying, I think we win 2-1. I've gone for 2-0, but I'll take a 2-1. What do you think performance-wise? Ropey or comfortable? It's going to be ropey realistically, isn't it? I think Ahmad is our best prospect at right wing currently. He's the most creative amongst the three. I think describing him as the most creative is certainly reasonable. And he's more suited to interchange positions with the ones around him. I think it's a good point as well. My concern with Ahmad at times is that, and I think we saw it in pre-season, is he does have an ability to just kind of drift out of games a little bit. But Alex is thinking a nervy 2-1 win. Corey's saying we will be trash as always. Quite possibly. I wouldn't put it past us. Ahmad needs to put on some size to become a regular in the Premier League. Fair argument. Brad Gaming, good to see you, mate. Just trying to catch up on what you guys are saying in chat because you guys are active. If you want to guarantee that I see your message, you can use a super chat so I get a notification for it. Or if you are a channel member, your name's in a different colour, so it's much easier for me to see when you are talking. But of course, don't feel that you have to. Mark saying 2-0, but it won't be nice to watch. Yep. Blessing saying, I see Rashford scoring twice today. That would be huge for this football club. Getting an informed Rashford like we had last season could change our season. AJ, would you say there's similarities between Ahmad and Lookman? Lookman fed Højlund a lot last year. I think Lookman's probably got a bit more strength and a bit more power about him. It's definitely an interesting comparison, though. It's definitely an interesting comparison. Again, something to look into. I do think Ahmad's long-term career is probably not as a pure right winger. It is more of an inside player. Whether that be in a 10 position, an inverted winger, I do think that's where we see him. When is Lisandro Martinez back? Not until after Christmas, Ten Hag said yesterday. Ali said Ten Hag is trying to have a regular 11 that starts all the time. I don't see a lot of changes in the 11 who started against Fulham. Yeah, that's a fair point. It's why we might see an Eriksen, just to keep some continuation from the weekend for like the first time this season. Alex saying similar playing styles. Lookman started as a winger but plays more like a 10. Very true. A W from Corey. Mark has become a channel GOAT. A GOAT of the channel, the greatest of all time. Thank you very much for becoming a channel member. If you haven't heard me say it already, you've now got a little badge next to you with a GOAT on it to show that you are a channel member. And you will get a new symbol every single month. You get custom emojis. You can get bonus content in the Discord if you wish to join that, but don't feel that you have to. Loads of great stuff, and I can see your name much clearer, so I can see when you're messaging. And Ali, don't worry, I'll get yours sorted. If you are a channel member, and you see someone else become a channel member, spam some of the emojis, and show off what you can use now. Yeah, Casemiro is out injured until after Christmas as well. He played... Who did he... Was it Newcastle last week? Casemiro played the first 45 minutes and came off at half-time. I'm not sure what the injury is, but Ten Hag has said not till after Christmas now. Højlund hat-trick would be a boost. And Trey would go on to call Haaland out. Win-win. FP said Matt Pfeiffer was brilliant yesterday. Again, if you guys want to join a Discord, me and FP were talking last night throughout the first half, talking about players doing things, different things well during the Feyenoord game, kind of scouting different players for United. So if you want to see more of my live thoughts whilst the football is on, join the Discord. It's completely free. And yeah, we can keep it updated. And the last we were good performance-wise in a competitive match was the 4-1 against Chelsea. Sancho was brilliant that game. I'm trying to remember who played that game. Obviously, you're saying Sancho. I have no recollection of actually who started that game. Let me just quickly try and find something else. Drop a link in the chat. I tried to drop a link in earlier and it wouldn't let me copy it across. If not, is anyone in the Discord got a link you can show? Let me try it like this. Let's try that. Alright, there you go. There should now be a link in chat with the Discord. If you want to join that, it's completely free. And you can just chat about football any time of the day. Keep it nice and respectful like we do in here on live streams and in the comment section on videos. But yeah, we can talk about whatever there. We can talk about video ideas. We can talk about different players to scout. You guys can chat live during the United game to each other. I may not be that active during United games. I'll probably pop in at half-time and give my thoughts, and also at full-time before I upload. But probably not during the game because I need to analyse the match and make notes and things. But I'll take all your thoughts into consideration. If you want to post stats on the game, you can do that there as well. And everyone can get involved in making better content. Also, something which will be coming eventually is if you are a channel member and also in the Discord as well, not just yet, but eventually, you will be able to get involved in videos. How does that sound? Pretty cool, huh? Also, channel members will be getting shout-outs in random videos in the future as well. 2-0 versus Tottenham for me was our best game under Ten Hag. I think it's right up there. I think also the first half against Spurs in the other game last season was good as well. That sounds awesome. Yeah, you guys should be able to get involved in some content. Whether you want to send... What am I trying to say here? Why do you guys watch? The content's awful. What was I saying? I have literally not got a... What was I saying? Yes, you guys can get involved in content. So, for example, I might do a Q&A at the end of certain videos, or even... Yeah, videos. A weekly video. You guys can send questions in for a Q&A at the end of the video, but you can send your question in like with an audio clip, video clip of yourself asking the question, so you guys can get much more involved in the content. Because quite clearly, I need help with the content because every 3 seconds I forget what I'm talking about. Why don't you re-watch and analyse after the match? So you're saying, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Maybe I could for certain games. I like to... I watch most games a couple of times anyway, but I like to try and get... I like to try and watch the game properly through twice, really analyse it so I can get you guys better content, basically. So like I said, I'll talk to you guys at half-time on Discord, and or once the starting 11's released, I'll talk to you then. At half-time, I'll talk to you, and at full-time. Or if there's a big stoppage in play, things like that. But you guys can talk constantly. Talking about members getting involved in content, maybe voice chats or stage on Discord. Yeah, thanks for the help. I struggle sometimes, as you can see. Sure you guys know that by now. It's not always the most smooth content. Content idea, analysis on players we are linked with, maybe. We do have a Scouting for United series on the channel. I haven't updated it recently because I've been trying to watch players for longer before producing videos on them, but there's some coming soon. We're looking at a few different players, Todibo, Jared Branthwaite, and some others. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Rashford isn't more creative at right wing than left wing. He's just forced to pass from right wing because he can't cut inside. Yeah, I think Rashford's more one-dimensional from the right wing, but sometimes that's better. If you have to analyze every game, don't you sometimes just want to put your feet up and enjoy it? Yeah. Sometimes I really do. Yeah. But I analyze every game because that's what you guys want content-wise. But yeah, sometimes I do wish I could not. I still enjoy it though, don't you worry. And I normally end up injured from celebrating if it's a late winner. The other week I nearly broke my foot. I'm pretty sure my brother ended up with like a bruised rib or something probably when we celebrated the other day. Don't you worry. I still enjoy the games. Maybe not enjoy because the football's terrible, but I still watch the games properly. Don't worry. Rashford is a disgrace. We should sell him and Bruno. Then we will be better. Wow, what an easy sport, eh? Bosh. Done. Problem solved. Alright, so Callum's my brother, for those of you that don't know. And he's trying to expose me there by saying, bro, your notepad is blank at the end of every single one of our games. Okay, Callum, there's no need to call me out like that, alright? I sit there, I plan to write notes, but I get a bit too invested in the game sometimes, and I get a little bit angry at certain referees and certain players in our midfield. So, yeah, he's not wrong, though. The amount of times I sit there with my notepad, I'm writing notes down, and I just give up and come back to it and watch it back later. If Casemiro is shipped off to Saudi in January, who would you bring in to replace him? That's what I'm trying to figure out at the moment. We spoke about that sort of profile of player yesterday, talking about the likes of Amadou Onana. Who else did we talk about? Vifer being another one. Those are probably the two that are top of my list at the moment. But I need to find more. I do need to find more. But I don't have a proper answer right now. Callum, I can't believe you've done that. You just outed me. Unbelievable. Late winner is always the best. There's just something about it. Like, you can ask Callum. I normally just launch myself at him and he ends up getting attacked by me, basically, when we score. But, it's part of the fun, isn't it? Hoyland to score, says Royal Kings. I certainly hope so, my man. I certainly hope so. He needs a goal just for some momentum, I think. I think he's playing well, but strikers want to score goals. Midfield has been the source of the vast majority of our issues this season. Lack of cohesion and lack of control. Yeah, I think like Ten Hag has said a couple of times as well, that because the defence has been so mixed and matched every game, they're also not got an understanding with the midfield, which doesn't help the midfield either. I think it's what United have is just knock-on effect and errors. Sorry, I'm laughing because I've just seen Edwick say, so AJ's surname is Smith, I thought it was Analysis. I might get it legally changed to Analysis. I'm not doing that. I'm lying. My midfield would be Mainoo, Amrabat and Ericsson. Mainoo is with the under-19s today. He's kicking off in about 20 minutes. If anyone's watching that game, get on the Discord, because that one I will be talking about Kobe quite a lot. That's a fair point. Too many gaps between defence and midfield. Yeah, like you said, I think the midfield is a lot to blame as well, but I think it comes from the defence as well. I think most of these problems are a whole team thing. Get a few players back from injury, I think we instantly improve, but we'll see. Vifer ahead of Andre. He would be for me at the moment because I like Vifer being that bit more physical presence, covers ground, he's a big lad. Andre's really good though. I think if you get an Andre, you just need to get the right players around him because he's smaller. Alex, were you here on yesterday's stream? I can't remember. Do you rate Alan Varela? I want to watch more of him. He's good from the brief I've seen. And I know a lot of people rate him quite highly. But I need to watch him more. Ruben Neves is a good shout. I've never been the biggest fan of Ruben Neves, truthfully. I think he's good. I think he's a good player. I've always questioned his ceiling, really, to go to the top level. Sorry you missed yesterday. Yeah, so no worries. What we were talking about yesterday, though, was the kind of the big physical profiles that City have when they defend a counter-attack. They've got Gvardiol, Diaz, Walker, who's quick and strong, Stones, Rodri. Arsenal have got Gabriel, who covers ground well, Saliba, Ben White, who's tall, Declan Rice, who eats ground for breakfast. Then you look at United, and we try to defend a transition with, even when we're fully fit, Lissandro Martinez, who's quite small, Varane, who physically is struggling, Ericsson often defends a transition and he just can't. Casemiro can't cover ground. So that was kind of the main topic yesterday, was like kind of I'm not saying a physical solution is the best solution. It was just one idea we were looking at yesterday, kind of some physical profiles. Yeah, a couple of henchmen in the team. Yeah. Not seen much of Vifer. He's a good watch. I recommend watching him. If you could go back to 21-22, who would you build the team around? Is that 2 seasons ago, right? What was that? What were we looking like? Is that the year we signed Ronaldo? Was that the year we signed Ronaldo? Preferably a henchman that can distribute as well. Yeah, that's the other thing we were looking at. We were trying to find like big physical profiles, but also they've got to be technical as well. Because again, if you look at City and Arsenal, they're big players. They're also really good with the ball. You should watch Doué from Rennes. He plays the number 10. He is a type of profile we don't have in this team. He's more technical and only 18 years old. Well, I'll add him to the list of players to watch. Thank you very much. I think we should sign Antonio Silva, Inacio, Wirtz, and that winger from PSV, Bakayoko. We will be there. I mean, any of them would be good signings. I have slight concerns over Inacio, but the rest of them, yep, I like the look of quite a lot. Is anyone else planning on watching the under-19 game in like 15 minutes? Is it on MUTV? Does anyone know? Or is it on TNT Sport? Does anyone know what channel it's on? I've seen some Brazilians calling for Andre to start and drop Casemiro. They see he is awful and gives away the ball too much. Yeah, that's the other thing with Casemiro, is that it's not just a United problem, because he does have it at international level as well. He's just had a massive drop-off this year. Might watch it in the background, assumed it was MUTV. Yeah, I'm not going to probably watch the full game, but I'll keep an eye on it. Again, if you're in the Discord, guys, which I know you are, Alex, I'll kind of keep you posted on what's going on there. Pavlovic would be a Vidic 2.0. Who did you say Pavlovic plays for? Who did you say plays for? I will make sure to... Left-sided centre-back. I'll make sure to keep an eye on him. Who was it who said it? Was it Maltese? If you join the Discord, Maltese, you can just keep sending me players you want me to look at, and I'll look at as many of them as possible. I'm just trying to find where this game is. Hanko Lucimi for left centre-back. Hanko was good last night. He was good. I was impressed with his on the ball. His temperament in possession was really good. I know we mentioned the injuries are an issue this season, but I think the drop-off of Casemiro hasn't helped at all and wasn't predicted. I think that's the big thing. I think we expected that he would drop off over time. It's the fact that it's just been like, bam, he can't move now. I don't know if any of you guys use Data MB. It's really good, kind of like a software for making graphs and stuff. There's an app for it as well if you want to get it. This isn't sponsored. Check out Casemiro this season compared to last season. It's the dual percentage is terrifying. I might be able to do it in a second, actually. I'm trying to find where this United Under-19 game. What's your opinion on Locatelli and Cherki? Both great players. I like Locatelli a lot. He would be my midfield signing at the club. Cherki, technically unbelievable, but I got concerns about him off the ball and attitude and things like that. Pavlovic is RB Salzburg. I will make sure to check him out. Thank you very much. Yeah, again, Maltese, if you want to join the Discord, there's a link higher up. It's completely free to do so. And if you just want to send me a load of players that I can watch and maybe do videos on in the future, or players that you'd like to see me do videos on in the future, let me know. But don't feel that you have to, of course. I'm trying to find this game, this match, whatever you want to call it. We are also going to be wrapping stream up shortly, so if there's anything else you particularly want to cover, get in chat now and let me know what it is before we wrap up. Let's go through goal scorer predictions. I saw a lot of people saying 2-0 and stuff earlier. You saying MUTV? I looked a second ago and couldn't see it. Maybe I'm being stupid though. Very possible. Sabitzer leaving was a shame. Sabitzer's a good player. I'm just not sure he was the profile. If you could go back to 21-22, who would you build the team around? Yeah, sorry, I did reply to that. I couldn't remember what team that was. Who was in our team 21-22? Was that the year Ronaldo was signed? Is what I was trying to find out. I do feel like when we signed Ronaldo, If we'd have signed a proper holding midfielder then, instead of Ronaldo, if we'd have signed a Tchouaméni, for example, this club could be in such a different direction right now. I feel like we are at this point where we're in a good place under Solskjaer, and we just needed that. I think tactically Solskjaer was always limited, but a good manager. We got to this point where we go this way or we go this way, and we signed Ronaldo and just went down this path that we didn't need to go down. If we'd have brought in a Tchouaméni, a Declan Rice, I feel like we'd have gone somewhere. I think he'd still be in a job. I think Solskjaer would still be the manager. So who would I build the team around? It would be a holding midfielder instead of signing Ronaldo. How do I join the Discord? I'm about to send a link, mate. There you go. If you press on that link, you'll be able to check it out. Sancho's also a good shout for who we should have built the team around. The fact that we spent so much money on him and things like that. That was the year we signed Ronaldo, Sancho and Varane. Yeah, I thought it was. I just double check him. I still think we're a midfielder away from a great team. But yeah, building around Sancho was definitely part of it. Because we were desperate for him. We chased him for so long to get him and then not build the team around him. Just didn't make sense. So yeah, Sancho's probably the best answer. I still can't find this United game. Maybe I'm being stupid. I'll have a look in a bit. But yeah, Maltese, if you use that link, I've put it. It's in the chat. You should be able to see it. If you use that link, you should be able to join. Oh, Lee saying, taking my kid to school. Thank you for an awesome stream as always, AJ. Best community ever, the AJ Analysis family. Go United. Thank you very much, Ali. I hope you have a good day. Hope your kid has a good day at school as well. Yeah, have a great day, mate. Thank you very much for the donation. Hopefully, tonight we give you a win and a good performance. And tomorrow you've got a nice video to come back to. Hopefully, but thank you very much, as always, for the donation. If you are a member, use the green hearts to say thank you to Ali. If you're not a member, get those clapping emojis going, everything like that. Spam some love hearts. Ali, I hope you have a good day, mate. You're an absolute legend, and I'll try and get your membership sorted out. Those of you that are members, if you don't mind me asking, are you from the UK or are you from elsewhere? Because Ali is from the US and hasn't been able to become a member, so I'm not sure if there's a problem with it being overseas. So if you could just let me know. If you don't want to, that's fine. Just trying to gauge it to see if it is a problem in the settings or something. But yeah, if you are still here, people, say thank you to Ali because he's an absolute legend. And yeah, I hope your kid has a good day at school, mate. Not UK, but Europe? Okay. Alex has gifted someone a membership. Now, I'll be honest, I don't even know how that works. But I believe, thanks to Alex being incredibly generous, one of you should now be a member. Is it random who becomes a member? But thank you so much, Alex. I think some random person in chat should have been given a free membership now because of Alex. What a legend, Alex. Thank you so much. What an absolute legend. Again, get some love hearts in chat to say thank you very much to Alex. That is greatly appreciated. So one of you now should be a member. Like I said, I don't actually know how this works. I weren't expecting that. I don't know how you claim your membership or anything like that. But someone in chat should now be a member. Or maybe it's someone random on the channel. I'm not actually sure. You're welcome. Keep building an awesome community. We're trying our best. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hopefully with the Discord and things as well, we can build an even better community, really. Big up, Alex. Absolute legend. FP, I'm guessing you know who my favourite player is, says Corey. Corey, you must be gutted with Sancho then, just how it's gone. You must be gutted. YouTube should randomly allocate it. Lovely. So hopefully someone is now a member. Thank you very much, Alex. I really appreciate that. To just give that to someone random is incredible. Thank you so much. Still can't find this United Under 19 game. I think I'm just being stupid, which is quite likely because I'm not the brightest days. I'm gutted with Sancho too. I live near where he started playing cage football. It could have gone so different. He's such a good player. He's an unbelievably good player. I feel like we tactically it was never set up right for him. We haven't given him the environment to thrive. I think he could have done more himself as well. But it's just so disappointing. I was a big advocate for the signing. I wanted him for a long time. And yeah, it's just such a bitterly disappointing end to it all. It's almost like a needless end. I love Sancho as a player, and I feel as if everything that could go wrong for him has, unfortunately. Even when he first joined, didn't he have an ear problem or something, which kept him out of pre-season? Just things like that. It just... Obviously, he came back as well, also off the back of the Euros penalty miss in the final. That had to affect him as well. He didn't get given his number 7, which I think we all thought he would. Yeah, I completely agree. Hopefully he gets a move and a fresh start and kicks on. Kicks on as a player, because he's got so much ability. Okay, it is on MUTV. I finally found it. I'm just a moron, apparently. If you got that member, but is there a chance that membership went to someone not actually here right now? Is there a chance it went to someone random on the channel? Or is it someone definitely in the stream? If it's someone who's in the stream, by the way, and you got given the you get emailed? Okay, everyone basically check your emails, because you might be a channel member. Again, thank you very much for that, Alex. Has to be someone on stream or someone here. You're a member now. Say hi. If you're just listening to this in the background, quickly check your phone or something, because you might be a member thanks to Alex. Work ethic was disappointing, especially after the break last season. There's a pattern of behaviour which is worrying. It's the fact that he had troubles at City and things like that as well. Not doubting his talent, and maybe he needs a fresh start. Yeah, I think that's the best thing to do. Move him on. Just be fresh somewhere. Just start again. That's false. The only problem he has is time management. But that is quite a big thing. That does become into behaviour, I guess. Part of being a professional footballer is turning up to training on time and things like that. Of course, again, we don't know what's going on. We have no idea what's going on behind closed doors. I feel like there's more to it than what we've heard. I think that's probably always the case. I think there's much more going on than what we see. We just have to take it on face value. Hopefully we get a bit of money for him, and he succeeds somewhere else, and is kind of best for both player and club. That's the only way you win this situation now, really. But it is disappointing. It is bitterly disappointing. We're over 1,200 views on this stream, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. And 72 people still here currently. Thank you very much, guys. We're on 77 likes. We've got more likes than we've got people currently watching. That's class. There's always more to it, for sure. We need to sell for financial fair play reasons as well. Yes, spot on. I think we are just about going to wrap up the stream here, though, because I think we've covered everything regarding the Copenhagen game which we want to cover. I think we're still a little bit unsure on the starting 11, really, which probably kind of highlights how difficult it is for Ten Hag to get the right balance at the moment. But I think we've got a team here. I think United should still win tonight. I think the atmosphere is going to be a big thing. Again, if you want to join the Discord, I will send a link one more time. If you want to join the Discord server, you can talk during the game there and have a chat about what's going on. But for today's stream, I think we are just about finished. So thank you very much. Actually, I'll quickly read these comments. Apparently, there was a lot of sympathy from United players for him, as they think he was training well, and a lot were begging him to apologise, but he felt wronged. Yeah, it's really difficult. I can't really speak on it, obviously, because we don't know. It's really difficult to know. Feel like we need to score first and start well. Yes, spot on. Spot on. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you to those of you which have sat there kind of quietly and not really said anything. Thanks to Alex, one of you is now a member. Thanks to everyone who has got involved in chat and let me know your thoughts on the game, predictions, different lineups, different questions, all of that. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who has voted in the polls and got involved in that way. Thank you to the donations which came from, let me double check this because I want to remember. One second, let me find this. We had Ali with the donation, which we of course greatly appreciate as always. We had Path with the donation, and we also had Funky with the donation, and also Ali with another one, because you're all absolute legends. We also had several new people becoming members. Let me quickly read out the new members, because again, absolute legends. We've got Alex, Mark, Corey, Matt, and Edwick all becoming channel members. Great stuff, and we saw some new people on the Discord server as well. So thank you very much to everyone who has been involved. I hope you have enjoyed it. Head over to the Discord if you're interested and start letting me know your thoughts over there. Let me know your thoughts when you see the starting 11. But apart from that, I'll see you tomorrow morning for coverage of this game. And you guys are lucky because it's my birthday tomorrow and you're getting a video. You're lucky. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.